Thank everyone for coming back to our class here, Natural Remedies Uncut. And this session here, we're going to be talking about inflammation. So inflammatory diseases, whether that be outside of the body, whether that be inside the body. And we know here that inflammation causes a lot of issues for a lot of people all throughout the world. And also inflammation can get so bad to the point where you feel a lot of extreme pain. So then we're going to talk about certain things that you can do for pain, whether that be pain in the like in your mouth area, or you have be pain on your skin, on your knees, and your elbows, or on the back, different inflammatory diseases. We'll be getting into the nitty-gritty. So we want to just make sure that you right now, if you're watching, that you can share this video with as many as you can. And also, just be able to, if you're on YouTube, like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have been building up our YouTube channel throughout the months here, the weeks that we've been doing this class here. And also, we thank everyone for joining our WhatsApp community as well. Right now, I believe we have close to about 720 people a part of our WhatsApp community. So, you can just feel free to share, invite people to the WhatsApp community, so that way we can grow to 1,000 people in our WhatsApp community as well. So more people can be blessed with this free information that we share with you guys every single week.
Great. And again, we really look forward to it. If you look at many of the, older, maybe some herbalists, what some people may call like natural healers and so on, there's one of the aspects I would say that is very huge in a lot of what they teach is that of inflammation and its relation to disease. I mean, some people go to the point where they say the inflammation is the cause of every disease. Of course, we know like when it comes to like many aspects, we know that one thing that we teach and we teach individuals is that disease comes up as a result of a violation of laws of health. So if someone doesn't get much rest, improper nutrition, lack of exercise, lack of sunlight and so forth, all these bring about disease. But what's very interesting is that those same lifestyle factors actually contribute to inflammation and a myriad of other conditions as well that generates and creates an unhealthful condition in the body, a disease condition or a sickly condition. So what we want to share with you throughout this entire time frame together is how we can be able to go ahead and help in decreasing our inflammation naturally. How to be able to do that naturally through different natural remedies that we'll be sharing with you today. So again, whatever it may be from arthritis to different type of inflammatory conditions, swelling and so forth, pain and so on, you definitely want to be here. And what I'll advise each and every one of us to do right now is let's continue to grow this individuals who are on the Zoom as well, who may be on YouTube, to go ahead and share it with as many people on WhatsApp as possible. Get that same link that you join in with right now, and just forward it to as many of your friends, to as many contacts, so that way many more could join in as we go live right now, as we are live right now. So let's pray together to the great physician, I believe, that is able to heal not only our bodies, but our mind and our soul. And that he may be able to give us wisdom and insights on how to take care of this human frame that he has given to us on loan from God. So let us pray together. Father, we just thank you so much for the opportunity to be able to learn of you, to be able to learn the natural means and remedies that you have placed in nature. And I pray that we may be able to use it with much discretion and wisdom, proper judgment, that we can be able to get the most benefits as possible for our bodies, for our entire being. Keep us and enlighten us in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Okay, so we're going to get right into our information class here as well. If you feel free to ask any questions that is concerning the remedies that we're speaking about right now, you can, feel free to type in the chat while we're speaking if you need to clarify anything, so that way we can address some of the issues that you're facing right now. So we're going to get into our inflammatory class here. And one of the first things that I want to talk about as it pertains to inflammation, that a lot of people experience inflammation. They experience it especially in the joint areas. And one of the most frequent joints that gets inflammation, that is the knee area. And in the knee area, we see here that people experience different pains, and they may not be able to bend that knee properly. They feel it very inflamed when they bend, or sometimes it becomes stiff where they can't really move those joints or those limbs. So then what you want to do here is to be able to help that inflammation, that inflammatory disease here, so that way it's not paining you anymore. And we can talk about some of the causes here, why you may have inflammation in the knee area. There's so many different causes, but we'll talk about a few here that may lead to that. And one of the ones that we're going to be talking about and how you can reduce that inflammation in the knee is that sometimes people have like uric acid buildup in the knee area. And if anybody knows anything about gout, that's what gout is, when the uric acid becomes so extreme in your body, and then it begins to even crystallize and begins to cut away, like you have that sharp pain in different areas of your body, not just your knee, but you can have that gout throughout different areas of your body. But basically, it stems from, that toxic buildup, which a lot of it is like uric acid and so forth. And if you know anything about uric acid, when you urinate, that's where the uric acid comes from, you let go of that urine, that uric acid. So then one of the great things that you want to do, especially if you have inflammation because of uric acid, is to be able to urinate more and sweat more. But then for you to be able to urinate more and sweat more, you need to drink more water. Because if you're not drinking enough water, then your body is not able to eliminate some of those toxins that build up in the system as well. Because remember, we talked about the eliminative organs when we first started our classes. And one of the eliminative organs is our urinary, system tract, our bladder, our kidneys, and so forth. This let go of some of the waste buildup in our system. So uric acid is one of those as well. And another way that you can help to let go of some of the uric acid is by exercising. Exercising helps the movement of those fluids throughout the body, and even with your lymphatic system will come up and suck up some of those toxins, the uric acid that's laying around in your system, and circulate and go back into your bloodstream so you can urinate those things out of your system. And also, meat, a lot of those meats, dairies, and all those animal-based products, by processing those products, there's a byproduct. Uric acid is one of them. That is a byproduct of processing those animal-based foods. So then you can eliminate those animal-based foods from your diet and therefore reduce the uric acid in your system and bring down the inflammation.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, like even gout and so on, a lot of that is called like the rich man's disease, right? It so happened that by consuming a lot of foods that are unhealthy, like high animal proteins, a lot of processed foods and so forth, it could definitely cause a lot of buildup and more inflammation. And there's certain foods that are very highly inflammatory that will trigger anyone who may have inflammatory conditions, whether it may be from arthritis to different types of pains and so on, that will trigger it a lot more. So like we mentioned, you definitely have to stay away from a lot of those, whether it may be like a lot of your animal proteins, even a lot of processed like refined foods, all of those, or just like junk foods. It's not really even a food, right? You want to be able to, as food in its most natural state is always the most ideal, always best. And also even refraining from a lot of your carbonated beverages as well. All that really impacts the kidney in a negative way and could lead to a lot of detrimental factors. So some of your carbonated drinks might be like energy drinks, right? You have a lot of energy drinks, you have a lot of sodas, and many of those drinks definitely can have a toll upon the kidney area. So, and the entire urinary area, and also thus leading to a lot more other unhelpful conditions. So being able to be aware of those and making healthier changes, like substituting some of those unhealthy drinks for even just water, I mean, you will notice a tremendous difference. Like, what's the interesting thing about like with inflammatory issues? Like water is actually a major miracle remedy, right? For those. Now, if you think about your body, like for anyone who are in here right now, like what percentage of water is your body? Like, of course it varies from, different individuals and genders, but let's just say anywhere from like 65, 70% of water. But notice it wasn't 65 or 70% of soda or coffee or energy drinks. So a lot of time people ask, well, can I drink something else that has water in it to replace it? Well, pure water is always, of course, the best. Pure soft water, that's always the best. And you'll be able to see, like, with a lot of issues, from joint issues to pain, inflammation, different issues like that, by just hydrating oneself, increasing the water intake would have a tremendous impact and a positive impact upon those conditions.
Yeah, so definitely you just want to be able to uptake your water. eliminate some of those high purine foods from your diet, which a lot of those seafoods like shellfish, all those oysters, all the different stuff like that, animal-based foods, and also some of those drinks, high purine foods. So you don't get those a lot in plant-based foods, mainly in animal foods. And also you want to be able to, if you do have kidney problems and your kidney is not able to filter out all the stuff from your system, you want to be able to cleanse out your kidneys. And we talked about kidney cleansing throughout our classes. You can go on YouTube, go back through our videos and look at our kidney classes. And also, we do have our products there, from Easy Series, EASEY series, SERIES, where you can order some of those cleanses from those websites as well that can help you to clean out the kidneys, so that way your body's eliminating all those toxins and it doesn't build up in your system and cause an inflammatory condition inside your body. So then, the question now is, if you want to be able to reduce your inflammatory condition that's inside of your body, this is one of the things that you can do to help to treat, the symptoms, to help reduce the inflammation. However, you have to be able to change your diet. You have to be able to drink some more water. You have to be able to exercise and do all these various things that can help you, so that way you don't bring back that uric acid buildup, that caused the issue in the first place. But this is what you can do to help to reduce inflammation.
And as we share that remedy as well, one of the things I want to mention is like one of the most inflammatory foods that you can also find, I believe, on planet Earth, when you actually look at it, is also highly acidic. So I'm not sure if you know what I'm talking about. Very acidic, highly inflammatory, and so forth. That's actually, if one of you guessed it, it's sugar, right? So sugar is also a very inflammatory food, also very acidic food. So if anyone is like going through some sort of inflammation issues, arthritic conditions and so forth, definitely eliminating like processed sugars, refined sugars, of like all your different granulated sugars, like all of that also is very much devoid of a lot of essential nutrients and minerals that causes a leach of different joint minerals as well, that causes more pains and inflammatory issues, even arthritic conditions, as a result of a higher sugar intake. So, keeping all of those things in mind, because sometimes we may be consuming what we may think to be very healthy foods, even nice plant-based desserts and different things, but it's loaded, right? Loaded with lots of whites or brown sugars and all of those in there, and then high fructose corn syrup and all of those different ones. And sugar comes in like many different hidden names as well, so you want to be aware of that. But then the thing is that a lot of people will think, oh well, I don't really consume sugar much, and they think, okay, I don't put it into my foods. But the minute you begin to look at your labels and begin to read the ingredients, you realize that sugar is in so many things sometimes that you even wonder, like, why is sugar even in there? Like, why does water need to have sugar? Why does this need to have sugar? So being aware of that as well, because this is something that will definitely cause a lot more inflammatory issues for many.
Yep. So then what we're going to do here is we're going to take a cabbage leaf here. So I have a cabbage. Many of you, I'm sure, know what a cabbage is. And I'm going to be showing you how you can apply this to help reduce inflammation. Now, not only inflammation, like let's say the pain itself, but also if you have swelling as a result of that inflammation, like edema, then this can help to reduce edema and swelling as well in certain areas of the body. So what we do here, you see the stem part here to the bottom of this cabbage leaf here. What we're going to do is just cut out the stem part here. And we're cutting this out here so that way we can make this a little more pliable whilst we're doing some of the remedies there. So you see this here? So we cut it out of here so that way it's not tough when we dealing with this here. So then what we do here, we want to be able to get the juices of the cabbage to flow. Those antioxidants, those phytochemicals, the healing chemicals inside of this cabbage, we want to be able to get those juices flowing. So that way, when we place it on the skin, the surface of the skin area, and we leave it on for 6 to 8 hours, then that's going to start to seep into the skin and have an anti-inflammatory effect on your joints or wherever that you're having that inflammation. So, sometimes even using like something that's a harder bottle or something like that, and you just knock like even on your table there, you can knock this, or you can take like a rolling pin and just roll it. So this is what I'm doing on the table here. You can't really see this here. I'm just knocking it here. Knocking. Or you can roll it a bit. you know, just keep beating it, and then you're gonna see the juices beginning to flow. Yes, it's starting to smell. I can smell the cabbage, smelling strong. And if you can, I don't know if you can see this here, but you can see like the juices. Let me see if we can get this to zoom in here a bit. Okay, it's not focusing here, but if you can see the lights are kind of bright, but you see the juices flowing off of the cabbage here. It will kind of get a little soft too as well. You can put this in the toaster oven for about 30 seconds or so, and then you can take it out. When you have those remedies, oftentimes when it's a little warmer, it's more effective. The juices can get to flow a little more. You don't leave it in too long where it dries up the juices, but you want to leave it in about 30 seconds, no more than a minute, so that way it can just warm up a little bit. And then you apply this here directly over the area that you want to help. So let's say that's the knee area. You apply this over the knee area. And then what you do, as my is taking the plastic wrap here, we'll take the plastic wrap and then we'll just wrap it up, with that plastic wrap around the area here. So you keep it in place. And as I said before, you leave this on 6 to 8 hours. You can even take some medical tape and to tape it down in place. And sometimes if you wrap it up enough and you tear it so it sticks to it, so you don't really have to put tape on it, this can probably stay in place for me if I'm a good sleeper, if I don't move around too much. But then, so what I do here, 6 to 8 hours to leave it on. But if you leave it on overnight while you're sleeping, naturally you're supposed to sleep between 7 to 8 hours anyways. So you'll be able to get the full benefit here if you leave it on throughout the night while you're sleeping. And you do this here until desired results there. What were you hitting it with? So I'm just hitting this with a jar here. Jar, I was hitting it with. Yeah. Any hard surface that you can find, doesn't have to be a jar.
If you have a meat tenderizer, no, you're no longer eating and consuming those meats, then put it to good use and beat those cabbages, right? So you can use that. And like you said, any hard surface, or if you have a rolling pin that you roll out your dough with, you can roll it with that as well.
Yeah, and this there, we had this guy, a testimony of a guy that we were working with, and it was so profound when we were working with this guy, using this cabbage here with him. He had a PICC line in him, and they put the PICC line in when they do frequently give you shots of treatments like IV or different IV fluids that they inject into you. So then they kept it in the PICC line here, and he had at-home care. He had cancer, and they called us to come help him. As we're helping him, they had to keep the PICC line in, so they had to use the saline water like every 2 days, every other day to clean it out. So they injected with some salt water just to keep it sterile. So then we realized that every time they injected it with the salt water, that he will get swelling in that one side of the body. So then he would get some swelling in his knee area and his legs and stuff like that. It would kind of get big. So then we used the cabbage on him, place the cabbage on him, place it over the knee area, just like I demonstrated to you. And we left it on about 6 hours. Then the wife came, or the daughter came, and the daughter, take it out. And then she realized that it had reduced, tremendously. Like it was almost back to normal. And then she was like, wow, this is amazing. Then the mom, the wife of the man we were helping, she came now. And then she's like, oh, you see, I told you to keep your leg up. It's because you kept your leg up. That's why, the swelling went down. So she was almost like a disbeliever that this simple old cabbage could help. She said because he kept his leg up on the sofa, that's what helped him. So they had to clean it out again. So they put some more saline water in his arm to help to clean out the PICC line. And then, it swelled up again. So then we did the same cabbage treatment on him. We put the cabbage on there for the edema. And when we put the cabbage on there, here we go. 8 hours after again, the swelling went down, and the wife now was the one who took it out. And when she took it out, she said she could see all the fluid around the cabbage on his knee, on his leg area, his knee area. And then his leg was like reduced back to normal again. And she was so amazed that just a simple cabbage could be so effective in bringing down inflammation. And with him having that edema, and it just reduced the edema. Now, some of you may not work like right away. You have to do this maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 times before you get total healing or back to normal, and also changing up what is causing that issue to happen in the first place. So then, we tell people just use this until you've seen desired results.
Yeah. So if it takes you a week, if it takes you a month, if it takes you a few months, the key thing, as always, is to be consistent. And one of the most difficult things for us as human beings is to be consistent every single day, doing the same thing, even when we may not see as drastic as results as we want to see. So really being consistent with that. And the powerful thing about cabbage, like we've seen, it's that it's very flexible, that it could be used for so many different issues and topical conditions and so forth. Like we mentioned, like if you have arthritis in the knee area, maybe if you have that pain within the joint area, maybe if you have like a swollenness within the upper back area, even the lower back, if someone has swelling like edema in the foot or in the leg and that area, you can be able to use that as well. And even someone who has mastitis, like, some sort of inflammation on the breast area, and maybe where those ducts for milk and so forth is not operating properly, like, doing the cabbage poultice is actually something that can also help even in inflammation in that area as well. So
yeah. And even with my wife when she was pregnant, like especially when you're first starting to feed the baby, they kind of latch on properly and stuff like that, and it may cause the mastitis and even engorgement. The breast starts to swell up and it becomes painful. And we use a cabbage to help her out to reduce the inflammation. You don't want to keep it on for too long because women actually use it to dry up the milk so that way they can stop, if they want to stop breastfeeding, they use that so they don't get the engorgement and stuff like that. But yeah, that can help the inflammation in the breast area if someone is having trouble letting go some of that milk with the baby. Obviously, if the baby is not able to latch on and suck up all the milk in the breast, you can even pump, the breast so you can get rid of some of that milk so it doesn't cause a backlog and cause inflammation, engorgement, and stuff like that. But yeah, so cabbage is powerful. And so as we demonstrated there, it's not only for the knee area as we demonstrated, you can use it elbows, the breast, the back, wherever that you have an inflammation, is very powerful.
No, definitely. And one thing to know about inflammation is that, like, for example, there may be some people here who may be on different diets. Some of you maybe even be on a healthy diet, right? And what we've noticed is that there are certain things that may be good for individuals, that may be even a plant-based food and so forth. But it could, if someone have inflammation issues, I'll say that it could flare it up a little more when consumed. It may not be bad in itself, but with someone who have inflammation, it could flare it up more where they can experience more of the pain. Like, for example, there's this lady that we were sort of visiting and helping out, and she had high blood pressure, right? So she was taking one of the remedies for blood pressure, which was the eggplant drink. In the eggplant drink, it has like, the eggplant in there and different aspects, different sort of nightshades and so forth. And while she was doing it, she was like, man, I'm doing this and I'm just feeling like so much pain, arthritic pains and so forth. And she's unsure what is causing it. I'm like, oh, are you doing like this drink? It has this recipe and so forth. I just said, okay, maybe that might be the one, like that's probably flaring it up more because, and then what she did was cut it out for a little bit just to test it out. And then the pain dramatically decreased. Now she was doing, it was all plant remedy, but at the same time, when it comes to like nightshades for some people, it could flare up more the inflammatory effects and so on. So like, for example, things like your eggplants, maybe types of peppers, potatoes, and all of those, like, internally at times, and again, with different people, it could vary, but with a lot of people with inflammation, that could sort of like flare it up a little more. So that's one thing to sort of be aware of, like different nightshades, especially as you work on overcoming that issue. You can also choose to be able to temporarily stay away from those things until you're able to build your body back up and really get over that hump and that issue that you're experiencing.
Yep.
Yeah. So again, cabbage extremely powerful, and mention all those things. And whilst we're on the topic of edema, we just want to mention, because I think we also mentioned it in the past as well. However, not only can you do cabbage for edema, but you can also do what you call a salt wrap, right? A salt wrap. And it's very simple how you do it. Is basically it's what you would call like a hydrotherapy or water therapy, where you use salt and water to be able to decrease inflammation or swelling, especially the fluid. Now, the great thing about salt is that, like, for example, if you want to bring out some nice sweetness from some sort of a fruit, right? Maybe even something like grapefruit, right? You can actually put salt over that, and it actually draws up a lot of those properties. And when you taste it, it's like it tastes so much richer, right? So any fruit you can taste it out, put it on there. It like draws liquid to itself. That's what salt does. There's that sort of effect that it does where it pulls and it draws liquid. So essentially what we're doing now, what you'll be doing with a salt wrap is utilizing salt to be able to draw the fluid that is inside of the body and have it drawn to itself. So the way that you do this is literally you'll get like put like several cups of like salt, like even Epsom salt. You can use Epsom salt in water, and you'll get like a towel. Make sure you make that good saline solution. You get a towel, you place it inside of that basin of water, and as you dip it in there, you can like wring it out where it's not like, of course, it's not drenching wet coming out, but at the same time, it's not too wringed out, where you can maintain some of that saline solution, concentrated saline solution. Then if it's over the leg area, the foot area, you can actually go ahead and then wrap that over that area, right? That salt over the area. And, over that too, you can actually put like a plastic wrap in, whether that may be cutting out a trash bag or whatever the case is, just to be able to like capture the water, close it in, keep everything in there as well. And just leaving that on, for, even up to like an hour, right? Just leaving that on and just allowing that to be able to, carry out its effect. What will typically happen in that situation is if there's like fluid within the leg, the foot area, and so on, it will actually go in and begin to draw out a lot of those fluids from that area, that localized area, and will begin to pull it into that towel. And a lot of you may even notice the effects, and you may even smell some of it as well when you get it off and get it out. But a salt wrap is definitely something that would be very beneficial in cases of edema, swelling and so forth, with fluid buildup.
Yeah, and there's inflammation in all different parts of the body here. The eye, there's inflammation in the eye, there's inflammation on the skin. But as we talking about the joints and so forth, I'm just gonna mention two things that you can do very similar, the similar way that you prepare it, very quickly, so that we can, wrap up with the inflammation here on the joints and so forth. So two of them would be ginger and potato, right? We have right here. Anti-inflammatory as well. Internally, anti-inflammatory. Both of them are anti-inflammatory. If you take them, ingest them as well. You make a tea of this, you make a juice of this. These are anti-inflammatory inside the body. So then what you would do here, you would grate it. So either the ginger or the potato, you do a ginger wrap or potato wrap. You would just grate it, grate the ginger, get all the ginger fluids. You can get like a paper towel on one end. You put all the shredded ginger on the paper towel, and then you can place that over the joint area, wherever that you want that to be applied here. Ginger has like a kind of stimulating sensation in the area that you apply it to. Also the potato here, you can apply that the same way to the joints as well. Grate it up and you apply it over the joint area, the back, the elbow, wherever that you're experiencing pain, the wrist, wherever the ankles, you place it over that area, and also that can help with the inflammation. Potato works pretty good for edema as well. Ginger is pretty good for anti-inflammatory. So if you have any inflammation, you can even interchange the different plasters or poultices that you apply. So one night you can do this potato, one night you can do cabbage, one night, so you can even interchange it if you want to as well. So you get the benefits of doing those different types of poultices and wraps for your inflammation that you're experiencing.
Yeah, and talking about herbs like, let's say, your ginger and so forth. You do have other ones, I believe, right now. It has been very popularized because of the powerful effects it has on inflammation. And there's a bio compound that is called curcumin, right? Curcumin, I'm sure many of you may be familiar with this right now, but then one of the ways that you can actually get curcumin is from, the turmeric, right? Turmeric, if someone is, certain locations like I think in St. Lucia, they call it chichima. But you may call it different things, different locations, but turmeric, I think, is universal name. But then that is also something that works very well by making a tea out of it or having a tincture out of it or some sort of extract. But a tea also works very well. But it works very well for different types of inflammation within the body to being able to help decrease it by taking those things internally. So again, something that could be great benefit to anyone who wants to be able to like decrease those inflammatory levels in the body. And I'll tell you this, like I would stress enough the impact of dietary factors on inflammation. Because I remember some years ago, one of our relatives, we actually visited them and they were having like really high, extremely high inflammatory levels. I think it was like over 1,000 on the particular reading that she had. To the point where one time, she mentioned where she wasn't even able to open doorknobs properly and do many of those things, right? And I remember just visiting, we visited her for a very short time. She went and, started eating a lot healthier, started doing a lot more healthier practices, plant-based foods and so forth. And not too long when she actually visited her physician, they noticed that her inflammatory levels was like it was zero. I think it was like 0.0 something or like below 1 for sure. Like it was extremely low to the point where she was amazed because like wow, like almost like no inflammation, very little to no inflammation within the body to the point where hers was extremely high in the past, and that was through simply implementing lifestyle remedies. Now, a lot of times, we think, okay, well, maybe what is a remedy that I can be able to utilize for, like something externally for this? What is a tea for that? And all of those are great, right? All those are wonderful. But the things that goes to the cause and the root of problems is what is the most sustainable ways to actually get the full results that you need. So like, of course, eliminating a lot of those sugars, a lot of dairy. Dairy definitely negatively impacts the joints to the point where a lot of people say like, hey, well, what about the calcium? Because doesn't dairy have a lot of calcium that is good for healthy bones and teeth? Now, yes, dairy does have a lot of calcium in it, but the downside is that dairy being so acidic that it is, what happens in order to neutralize a lot of the acid that is within the dairy, then the body, it actually leaches calcium from the body to be able to neutralize the effect of the dairy that you consume. So what happens is that, yes, you get in calcium, which is not even optimal calcium, but you get calcium from the dairy. But a lot of times people don't realize there's more calcium loss than calcium gain. So you gain calcium, but you lose calcium that is higher than the amount that you gain, thus still leading to different type of joint issues and things like osteoporosis and osteoarthritis and all the itises and so forth as a result of high dairy consumption. So keeping those things in mind.
Yeah, and we like to welcome, I see Mimi here has a question. Thanks for joining, Mimi. Mimi was here as a health guest at our center here. So then, yes, so you talked about your trochanteric bursitis. Yes, that inflammation in the hip area that can be applied to as well. So you can do the cabbage, you can do the ginger, you can do the potato, you can do the salt wrap. You can even, interchange some of those things there.
Yeah.
And also another great thing that you can do as well is like the hot and cold fermentation. So like 4 minutes hot, like a towel. You can put a dry towel over that area wherever you have inflammation. Then put like boiling water, dip the towel in some boiling water, wring it out, and you put the towel over the dry one, the hot towel, and you wrap it up in there and leave it on for like 4 minutes. And then you do the ice cold water. You have a different towel that you dip into the ice water and you put it on the inflamed area for 30 seconds to 1 minute, and you go back and forth, 4 minutes hot, 30 seconds, 1 minute cold, and then you do that for about 30 to 40 minutes. And that fermentation is there to help with inflammation, but also doing all these other wraps in conjunction with that as well can help. And as we were talking about supplements here too as well, we talked about the curcumin, already. Also, omega-3 fatty acid is great. The great sources for omega-3 fatty acids, we talked about like the algae, which is a source that the fishes get the omega-3 from. So then if you can get supplements online that have algae sources, it's not omega-3 itself, it has DHA and all the different fatty acids to your body combines together to make the omega-3 chain fatty acids. And also you have flaxseed that is high, so you can do flaxseed oil if you need to as well, which maybe be more potent. So you take a tablespoon of that daily. You also have some chia seeds that has omega-3 in there. Walnuts has omega-3, but definitely the algae and also the flaxseed oil might be a little more higher when it comes to the omega-3 content in those. And also, other things like resveratrol is anti-inflammatory as well. So resveratrol is a great supplement that you can take. Alpha lipoic acid, which is, kind of similar to omega-3 and so forth. But yeah, so ALA, so some of the things you can take as a supplement here. ALA, talked about omega-3, talk about curcumin, resveratrol that we talked about as well.
And
So
also another one will add on to that, which is extremely strong, but it's extremely powerful and deadly to the point that it actually kills off even cancer cells, which almost all of us have in our bodies, right? It's actually called cumin seed oil. So cumin seed oil is extremely highly anti-inflammatory to someone with like inflammation, like arthritis and so forth. By just taking that in daily, like even a full tablespoon, you'll notice a positive impact as well on those levels. Now, I'll let you know, like it's a strong taste that will be acquired, that needs to be acquired. But again, when it comes to these issues, it's better than going through lots of pains. If you can, be able to begin to do things to work your way out of such a health crisis, then no matter what it takes, it's being willing to do whatever it takes to experience the results that you need. So what we want to share, because the thing is, with a lot of inflammation, what comes with inflammation is pain, right? A lot of people, of course, when it comes to like pain, inflammation, a lot of times you have a lot of coagulation of blood, or lack of circulation where blood begins to pool and congest in certain areas. And as a result of a lot of blood congestion, sometimes that's one of the reasons why some may also be able to get lots of pain, or inflammation that's all linked with pains and so forth. So we're going to be seeing like, okay, well, what are some things that we can be able to do to be able to help with pain, that would naturally help increase circulation, and not only circulation, but sometimes in different areas in the body, a lack of oxygen as well can actually be able to increase pain levels. So how do we drive more oxygen to that area? How do we be able to increase circulation? How do we be able to like really help in also decreasing that inflammation for different conditions, from arthritic conditions to maybe someone just had some sort of some sort of accident where they hurt their, sprained their legs or their ankle, or some sort of athlete issue there. So you want to see, okay, well, what is a pain remedy? Now I'm going to give you a remedy here. So you want to make sure that you have your pens, your papers out. You want to write down every single ingredient and the amount that I'll be mentioning, because that is definitely a powerful remedy that may be able to help you in times of extreme pain, of course, that you'll be applying topically, massaging it into that area. Now, the recipe for that would be, one, you want to get a half cup of beeswax, right? Get beeswax. This would be like your, the agent where all the other remedies would be in, and it will also be able to sort of maintain a consistency, to maintain the heat and everything else that will be applied to it for a longer time, longer consistency. So you want a half cup of beeswax. Another thing that you'll be adding to that as well, you'll be doing 2 tablespoons of peppermint oil, right? You want to get peppermint oil, you want to add 2 tablespoons in there. Peppermint, high in oxygen, it has a nice cooling effect, and it definitely has a good impact on pain and allowing you to get that relief, right? So 2 tablespoons of peppermint oil. Then also you want to do 2 tablespoons of camphor oil as well, right? 2 tablespoons of camphor oil. And that way, you apply, you add those into that mixture as well. Then the final thing that you'll be doing would be 6 teaspoons of cayenne pepper, right? So you want to do 6 teaspoons of cayenne pepper. And when we say cayenne pepper, we don't just go to the store and just grab like a cayenne pepper from the shelf of your regular supermarket. Those would be a lower heat unit, and it wouldn't have as intense of a medicinal effect as if you were to get a more medicinal grade, higher heat unit cayenne pepper. So the cayenne pepper that we recommend, a high heat unit one, will be anywhere from 90,000 heat units, or what you call IUs, which is short for heat units. So 90,000 IUs and above, right? You can get 90,000, you can get 120,000, and so forth. Those will work really well. So what you do, you get like a glass bowl, you place all those ingredients in there, and you begin to like mix those ingredients thoroughly. You mix it all thoroughly. then you'll just, based upon, of course, the topical area that you'll be covering, the surface area, just take enough of that mixture and you begin to massage it over that area. If you're massaging, anywhere in the arm area, the foot area, the ankle area, wherever you're massaging, you massage it into that area. And you just massage into the affected area, and you do that regularly as well. You do that consistently to be able to give you the relief that you need. It increases the inflammation and also will help in the healing process. The powerful thing about health is that perfect health depends upon perfect circulation. Now, if you can have the blood circulating more freely throughout the body, then it intensifies and increases the healing effects, right? So the more circulation you get, the better opportunities you have for your body to continue that healing process and help your body to be able to repair itself more effectively.
Yeah, so definitely. And somebody asked about the cumin oils. Yeah, black cumin seed oil, black seed oil, cumin seed oil is the same thing, just different ways of saying it. But yeah, so this definitely, it has like an ice hot effect, on the body. And you get cooling and heating effect that happens too as well. So it's almost like you're doing a fermentation when you apply these things to your affected area. And there's similar ingredients there that you can apply for not only inflammation on outside of your body, but like let's say if you have a toothache, you can take the similar ingredients there, but you can do like coconut oil instead of the beeswax. You can do some coconut oil. You can put some of the charcoal in there, and you can put some peppermint inside of there as well. You can put a bit of cayenne pepper as well. And then what you would do is you mix that all up together, and then you can even get like cotton balls or whatever, and apply it to the teeth area or the cotton ball, and you just bite on this hair. And if you want to get you can do 1 teaspoon of charcoal. You can do half teaspoon of cayenne powder and some peppermint oil. Put about 2 or 3 drops in there, and you put some coconut oil to all bring it all together. And then you can put it on the cotton ball. You can even bite on it, and just keep that in place there, and that will help to the charcoal draw some toxins from that area. The peppermint, the cooling effect, it actually helps to relieve some of the pain. The cayenne pepper, as I said, the hot and cold effect that it has. Cayenne pepper also brings circulation to that area, which helps with inflammation, because sometimes inflammation can happen because of coagulation. Remember, every time your area is inflamed, you have a coagulation of red or white blood cells in that area. So then the circulation will help to disperse some of that, to reduce some of that inflammation. So then, even my wife, when she was, when we first got married, she was having like toothache and different stuff like that. So then, I'd given her a mixture of this there. She bite on it. And I'm telling you, within a few hours, her toothache pain was gone. I'm talking about like really extreme pain, especially when you have that in the mouth area. So the similar type of effect here, but you're doing that in the mouth area. When you need to get the teeth checked out to see what's happening, if you have cavities and so forth. But yeah, definitely using that to help to reduce some of that inflammation and that pain in that area.
And yeah, some of you who have experienced toothaches knows how painful that could be. So definitely being able to alleviate that pain or sharing it with someone so they can alleviate that pain would be a huge benefit, right? Of course, with all those different remedies there, the oils, the peppermint, and all of those aspects to be able to alleviate that. So, and pain, of course, people may have pain for different reasons, different areas. Some pains, as topical as it may also have some sort of underlying issue that may not just be a topical issue. Like, for example, someone who may be having lower back pain could have it for various reasons. It may not just be like some sort of a muscle ache, right? Or you lifted something too heavy. Like, it may be different reasons. It could be like someone having a herniated disc, right? It could be a situation where someone is having a lower back pain, but it also goes down, or you may have more sciatic pain. It could be a situation where your kidneys might be not at its optimal. It's not functioning as well. And you're having lower back pain and you're wondering what's going on. Or maybe it's that time of the month for a lady where they're experiencing more pains here and so forth. So of course, there are different reasons for pain. So you always want to understand like what exactly is causing my pain. That way you can better be able to know how to address it. But in many situations, when it comes to a lot of the topical, muscular, joint issues and so forth, all those types of pains, those inflammatory issues, then a lot of the pain salve recipes work very well. apply for the internal pain over the tooth area and so forth. Applying that toothache recipe, those are very helpful. But for a lot of pains, we mentioned it earlier, like many situations, actually just drinking more water will actually help. And I think this is a great remedy. You need to write down, and you actually need to remember. And I need to be able to write down to drink more and more water. At one point I was drinking every day a full gallon of water, and I sort of cut back a bit. I have to get back increasing even more again, right? But yeah, I mean, drinking more water, you won't. I believe water is one of the most powerful, miraculous fluids that God has given to us on earth. And many of us don't really take advantage of it as much as we should. We only wait until the emergency room to actually get our water intake. If you think about it, like majority of people who actually go to the ER, one of the first things that they do is hook them up with some sort of saline solution, right? Some IV. And a lot of them really bounces back because all they needed sometimes was just water. So I think it's something that's extremely powerful that you can be able to implement and that you can be able to do as well.
Yeah, so the recipe again for that toothache remedy is, a eighth teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1 teaspoon of charcoal powder. You can do 2 or 3 drops of peppermint oil, and then put maybe like a teaspoon of the coconut oil, just enough to just mix it all together. And then you can put like a cotton ball and you can bite on that. Also, somebody mentioned a very good remedy as well that we address for toothaches, which is clove. And sometimes you can just chew on that clove, and it have like a numbing effect, on the area, the mouth area, like, with your teeth, your gums or whatever, where you're having that inflammation, that pain. And cloves can work out pretty good as well to help to numb some of that pain in your mouth. And we have had people try that in the past, and it works wonderfully for them, having those cloves as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And, I wanted to mention one more thing again, as we're talking about different remedies here, you do have some inflammation in the eye too as well. And one of those inflammation you can have in the eye is like pink eye, right? People have this pink eye and different inflammatory diseases in the eye. Great remedy for that is lemon. You can just cut the lemon in half. I know some of you at home thinking right now, like, man, I'm going to squeeze some lemon in my eye. Yes, you're going to squeeze some lemon in your eye. So cut the lemon in half and just use one drop of lemon in each eye, just to help with that pink eye. And if afraid of having it too strong, you can put 1 drop, or 2 drops inside of a little container or whatever, and put a little bit of water in there to help to dilute that. And if you can get like a dropper bottle or something, and you can just wash your eye with the lemon in each eye, and you can help to reduce that pink eye. And I'm sure you've had we've had many experiences with people with pink eye in the past.
Yeah.
And there was one individual that called, they had pink eye, and we had them go on this lemon remedy. And what was the result with them as they went through that procedure?
Definitely. I think she had recently come back from Jamaica, and she got that issue there, and she's wondering, she's like, man, this has been lasting me the entire vacation. I'm back here, like, what do I do? How do I get rid of it? And she's able to do that lemon eye drop that we mentioned in here. And literally in like 24 to 48 hours, like she was able to experience full relief where that completely was able to go away. And so again, it's a powerful effect. I mean, implementing that topically, just powerful eye cleanser, being able to help with that situation works very well. And of course, like so many other eye issues, like let's say others may have inflammation too, like even like swelling on the eyes, And again, that may be due to different things, So it may be you don't sleep properly, right? You got a lot of bags under the eye, so you definitely have to sleep, not just apply remedy. But maybe someone might have kidney issues, right? That could be a sign there too. You're not letting go of your fluids as effectively. It may just be lots of stress and everything else that causing this. But one of the things that you can do for bags or that inflammation of those bags, that swelling, right? Under the eye area, again, is your potato. Potato is extremely powerful. You can actually do what you call a potato slice. You slice up that potato so that way you can have like the on the open side of it, like a slice of it, where you can place it over the eye area. You just cut the raw potato, thin slice, and you can actually place it over the eye area. And different ways you could do it. You can put something like a wrap or something over that potato, and like maybe some eye slip cover, like a what you call it, eye covers. So that way that could stay in place, and you can even just leave it overnight and just have it stay over the eye. And what the potato will do is it will actually help in absorbing a lot of the swelling area that will help as well with like swollenness or bags under the eye. Of course, putting a potato wouldn't replace you going to bed on time to be able to help with that. But at the same time, you'll notice the dramatic effects and impact it will have by doing it as well.
And somebody asked us, which can help with pain as well, but they asked us about the ozone therapy to increase oxygen in the body, and they talk about it for the cancer patients. But oxygen, increase of oxygen can actually help to reduce inflammation and even pain in the body. There was one study that even compared increasing the oxygen intake in your body to taking aspirin, which people take for inflammation and pain and so forth. So then this is what you can do here. People you can do your ozone therapy and so forth, but ozone therapy just mimics somebody getting a high intake of oxygen, especially like on the mountaintop and so forth. It mimics that type of effect, and people taking some deep breaths in, and that's what is there to try to mimic as well. So what you can do here, if you don't have ozone therapy, is very expensive to get that machine, and also the treatments could be very expensive as well. But if you're at home and you want something to do for free, you can go into like a park area or somewhere that has a good supply of fresh oxygen and what we call negative ionized air. So air that have negative ion particles that has an extra electron in there. This can be found mainly in green areas.
Near trees, by a beach, waterfall.
Yep, the water running, thunderstorms even, after thunderstorm, it releases more negative ions in the air. That has a very tremendous benefit on the body. And what you do is deep breathing. And sometimes, you can do this here to get the maximum amount of air into your body. You can do like a double deep breathe. And I'll explain this to you here right now. And we share this with our health guests who come to our center all the time for our classes, even our trainings and so forth. What you do is you breathe in. When you breathe in, your stomach goes out. When you breathe out, stomach goes in. Like think about a balloon. You blow into the balloon. So in into the balloon, the balloon expands. Out, it inflates. So then what you want to do here, you want to be able to breathe in, but then to get maximum amount of air, to make sure that you get the maximum amount of air, you can breathe in. And then when you hold it for a little bit, you breathe in again. So you do like a double breathe in, and then you breathe out. And do that again. So doing that double breathing can help. And then you can breathe out slowly throughout your mouth. This is not only therapeutic to help to relax you, to calm you down, especially if you're getting worked up or angry, or if you're getting stressed out or anxious. It's going to help to calm down your nerves, but also it helps to increase the oxygen that comes into your body. And naturally, when you increase oxygen that comes into your body, what happens is the pain starts to reduce. And studies have shown this over and over again. And that's why sometimes exercise can help to reduce pain. I know sometimes exercise can inflame your pain, especially when you have pain in your joints and so forth. But if you can do some simple exercises, even though you may not able to do like rigorous exercise, but doing some simple exercising, it can help you to take in more oxygen. And also your body produces certain hormones that can also have a positive effect on your body, help to reduce inflammation as well. So just do that deep breathing. And doing about 15, 20 deep breaths. Some of you may even find out that when you're doing these deep breaths, you get lightheaded. That's all right. It's just oxygen. Your body's not used to so much oxygen at one time. And then you may feel a little bit of lightheadedness, not just the oxygen intake that is coming into your body. But then that is a good way to help to reduce inflammation, reduce pain, and also just good in general to take deeper breaths instead of shallow, breathing. And shallow breathing is not good. A lot of you have bad posture. And right now you're watching this video and you're sitting down and you're cramping your diaphragm.
I can imagine some of you are straightening up right now.
And you're probably on your phone right now, crouching over. And if I'm like this, oh my goodness, I can't even breathe deeply. A lot of shallow breath is hard for me to breathe deeply. But if I stand up erect or even sit down erect, shoulders back, sit, have a good posture, sit straight, then, oh yeah, I can breathe deeply now. So then your posture, you want to make sure you correct your posture, especially when you're sitting down, standing up. You want to always be erect, so that way you can breathe in and take deeper breaths more naturally. Just a great way to help. You're talking about ozone therapy. It's your natural ozone therapy here at home.
No, definitely. And we gave a remedy just now also for like a potato. We're gonna give you another remedy, a recipe. You have a remedy for being able to help with different inflammation. Like for example, whether someone may have swelling, whether someone may have like I've been personally around the world, there have always been carrots. Carrots available. I don't. Carrots is just maybe a favorite for many. It grows so many places, right? So what you want to do is you want to grate carrots. What you want to do, grate carrots about like a half cup of shredded carrots, right? You grate a half cup of shredded carrots. Then also you do like 1/8 cup of cornmeal. 1/8 cup of cornmeal. The cornmeal basically serves as like a binder. And with a lot of different poultices, you can actually use cornmeal as a binder. That's one option. So you do like a half cup of shredded carrots, 1/8 cup of cornmeal just as a binder. You mix the ingredients together and you just add enough water in there just so it will have a more pasty poultice consistency, more pasty poultice consistency. You can be able to place that into like a towel, and well, it's very small, I mean like paper towel or some sort of a thin wrap, paper towel and so forth, something that's more porous. You place it in there and you place that poultice over the area. Now, sometimes you can actually just have that, you can close up that poultice with the paper towel, or you can leave one area on the open and place it directly over. Once you place it over that area directly, you want to wrap that area with some saran wrap, tape it down, medical tape, just anything really, or strap it down. If, anything really, if a bandage or anything really to be able to keep it in place for at least like 4 to 6 hours, right? You need to keep that on there to be able to help with inflammation, even pus discharge, and some of those issues. You can be able to use that carrot poultice.
And I think I'll probably share, this might be the last remedy. It's already 5 o'clock right now. But then, so there's so much to talk about with inflammation. And as we're going throughout the class there, there's so many things that I'm thinking about, man, it's so much to cover. And that's why we have these classes weekly. So one of the things that you can experience inflammation in the throat area, we have, tonsillitis, right? So people can have like tonsil stones, inflamed tonsils, and so forth. And this is a remedy that you can do to help to get rid of some of that tonsillitis, right? And we have done this. There's, a young lady who had experienced some tonsil stones, and she had inflammation there, and helped her to apply this, and she was able to get rid of those stones, and she was, coughing it up and so forth. So you can take like a teaspoon of salt, put that in a cup of water, and you can boil the water and so forth, and you dissolve. You keep stirring, you dissolve that salt into the water. You make some saline water there. And then you just take that water and gargle it in the back of your throat for like about a minute. And you just gargle the salt in the back of your throat here, gargle that for about a minute. You can also, if you want as well, you can do the same thing with lemons too. Lemons is great as well, great cleanser and so forth, anti-inflammatory. It helps to cut away at those tonsil stones and so forth. You squeeze the lemon, like half a lemon, you put some warm water as well. You can even mix it with salt water if you want to as well. And you gargle that as well. Gargle that in the back of your throat. Another one, surprisingly, that I've even made someone try as well is the aloe vera. You can take some aloe vera as well. Take a little bit of that gel, and you blend it up inside of that water, and you do the same thing. You gargle that at the back of your throat. And then that's really going to help you. And you see some of the stones will begin to like come up. So you can do that like, 2-3 times throughout the day until those stones are all the way gone. As we said, we talked about salt as well. Salt helps to reduce inflammation. It helps to, the inflammation, this fluid buildup and so forth. And also it can help to remove some of the stones as well that you may have in the throat area. So if you have tonsillitis, tonsil stones and so forth, it's something that you can do from home to help that issue.
No, definitely. And even sore throats, of course, many of you may know now, you can use that salt water as well. So feel free to be able to implement that too. Sometimes if you have a great peppermint oil, even a drop, 1 or 2 drops of those will actually help. So what we're going to do at this time is we're going to open it up and see what questions we have. Again, as always, during that Q&A session, feel free to raise your virtual hand on Zoom. If you're on YouTube, again, you can jump into Zoom if you do have a question as well, so we can be able to take those on. So feel free to raise your virtual hand. We will be able to answer your questions in the order that it's received. It will come in an order, so that way we can make sure that we can get to your questions. And once we are done with those questions, we'll be ending off for today. And then that way we can continue on with the next class. And whilst you raise your virtual hands, we just want to mention something as well. So make sure you raise your virtual hands right now. We will be coming to you. We'll call out your name, and we'll be able to take your questions in the order that it's received. Signed up so far, but there are some of you right now that are live. We haven't seen your name there as yet in our sign up, in our registration. So we're wondering, what are you waiting for? We're really excited to see you there, and it will be a great experience. It's an entire 10-day medical missionary training, gospel medical missionary training. We'll be covering many different topics from gospel aspects, how to study the Bible, canvassing, just different ways that we can be able to memorize the Bible, because we think that's very important, especially with crisis that is to hit this world very soon. Also, we'll be going through many other natural aspects and remedial aspects and lifestyle. So lifestyle remedies to help in maintaining and overcoming many different chronic illnesses and so forth, from different laws of health to natural remedies, to herbal therapies, to massage, nutrition, cooking classes. And there's just so much. I think it would be I strongly believe it would be a life-changing experience for many. Over the years, we've been able to train hundreds and even thousands of people who have been able to learn and become more equipped in how they can take care of themselves, their bodies. But some have gone further and been able to help others as well in a bigger capacity by by even being able to work with people from their homes, from their community and the church, and even home centers and so forth. So I think it's a great experience where, if you are in the northeastern area, maybe you're in another area as well, I mean, feel free to join in personally. You don't really have to travel that far to go to a training. You don't have to take 6 months off. I think it's a great way to have that strong foundation to be able to get that experience. So we're asking you to join in our upcoming training. We have sent the link in the chat. So you want to make sure you click that link right now and sign up today, because that training starts like May the 31st. So you have a few days until it starts. So you want to make sure you register before we close off registration, right? You need to make sure you register right now. Register today. Again, you want to do it right now whilst it's on your mind. Don't leave it for tomorrow. Don't leave it for the next day. Take action today. It tells a lot, because, like, for example, something's happening with you. The way that you take action determines the results and effects that you get. So I really encourage each and every one of you to take action today, and we look forward to seeing you there. Anything else you want to mention on it?
Yeah, and also for those who cannot make it in person, people are asking, you can join online. We will be live streaming it online, so you can join the training from online, both online and in person. And also, some people were asking about the timing as well. So we actually were discussing about making accommodations for the timing and probably switching the training to the evening times instead of having it throughout the day, switching it through the evening time, so that way you can join in here like from about 5 to 9 o'clock in the evening times. So that way, some of you, I know it's kind of an odd time, a period, and you may not be able to get off from work and so forth. So you can still be able to join in our training for the evening. So that's something to consider as well. So you're going to click the link right now in the description, in the chat on Zoom. And for those on YouTube, if you're watching this video here, you can look in the description below where you'll see the link to that Gospel Medical Missionary Training. And it's a lot of hours that we'll be sharing with you throughout this training, probably over 50 hours of class time, a lot of demonstrations, a lot of activity. So you want to be able to sign up right now. You have less than 20 days to sign up for this training. And throughout these classes there, we have privileged the people that have been joining our class. We've privileged you with getting the early bird, getting that special pricing for those who are part of this class. So if you click this link right now, especially those who are part of this class, you'll be able to get this discount. Just sign up today so you can be able to get that special early bird discount.
Yeah. So while the early bird is there available for you, go ahead. right now, and we're going to allow you to send that link to a few of your friends as well, so they get that early bird special that you're getting. So go ahead, you can share it with some friends and family who want to be part of that experience, and we really look forward to seeing you there. So we're going to go to our questions right now. If there are no questions, again, we'll be ending off for today, and of course, same time next week, we can be able to continue on in sharing different powerful remedies to be able to help in impacting our lives and the lives of our community in a positive way. So any questions, feel free to be able to raise your virtual hand and we can take it. If there are no question that comes in the next 10, 15 seconds, we'll be ending off right now. So make sure that you can do that so that way we can be able to help in answering those live. So we're just going to wait a few seconds here, and
just raise your hand. Raise your hand in the click on the reactions and raise your hand so that way we can get your questions there. You can ask your audible questions.
Yeah.
If you're shy, you can type in your question in the chat. But we like to hear your voice here.
Yeah, it just also helps to give context to it. So again, we don't see any hands right now. So again, we thank you so much for being able to join with us today, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Same time as well. And we're just going to answer this final question here before we end off. Of course, if we see one more, we'll acknowledge that. But I know someone asked a question about can you use sweet potato on the eyes as well? So sweet potato is also in the potato family. So I'll say, like, if you just don't have potatoes available at the moment and all you have is sweet potatoes, I'll say use those sweet potatoes, right? You'll still get some sort of an effect. But if you do have the, your white potatoes and so forth available, you want to consider using the white potatoes. That's what we've seen. We've used that more consistently to see more consistent results with that. So in terms of, the full efficacy of the sweet potatoes, I'm sure it works really well, but we've had more experience using the white potatoes. But if that's all you have, the sweet potatoes, then use it. I'm sure you'll get a lot of those effects. It's really in the similar family group.
Yeah, and some of the sweet potatoes are kind of a little tougher, like when you're chopping it and stuff like that. So that's something to keep in mind, that it's maybe a little tougher to work with, but the white potatoes are more pliable and helps you to work with it a little easier.
Yeah. So very good question. And again, we just leave you off with the links. Click the link in the chat, and we look forward to seeing you in Brooklyn. We'll all be there. I think it will be a powerful training. And yeah, who knows? We believe time is wrapping up very quickly. Who knows if that might be one of the last trainings that you may probably need before a crisis is to break, health crisis or whatever the case might be. And you want to be prepared, you want to be ready, you want to have your family and your households ready for this. So we look forward then to being able to see you there. So again, thank you so much for joining on with us on this call, and we'll be seeing you next week as well.
Yeah, so we look forward to seeing you guys every Sunday at 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and then our question and answer segment 30 minutes after that. And we just thankful for all of you joining. Continue to share these videos far and wide, and we will be posting the recordings. I know someone said that we didn't post the recordings for our last class in the chat. Make sure that you subscribe on YouTube if you haven't. That's where all the recordings will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. So Eden Lifestyle Live is our YouTube channel. And if you're watching from YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe subscribe to our channel. Put the notification bells on so you're notified every time we post a video. So we just look forward to seeing you guys next week, same time.